Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel for another video. So as you can tell by my face or the title of this video, we're actually going to be revisiting one of the first ever body paints that I ever created. In July of 2018, I started this channel with a mini-series, the Christmas in July. In that, I created 3 different characters, Jingle the Elf, Oatmeal the Snowman, and then finally, I'm a Nutcracker. And I thought it would be really fun a couple of years later, only 1 year of actually painting and trying really hard, to kind of see how much I've grown, and I thought that this would be a really fun video to do for Christmas in general. So I love you guys so much, thank you for watching, and we're gonna hop into the video. Okay friends, let's start with a little beauty makeup. I knew I was going to have a blue suit, and so I chose pink and purple for our eyeshadow in order to kind of complement that. All of these I pulled from the Raw Beauty Christie and Pure Cosmetics collab. I used the colorful side for this. I did a pretty poor job of blending the pink, purple, and then that really rich blue in together, so it kind of cheated and I used my finger to pack a silver shimmer shade across the entirety of my lid. I added white liner to my waterline and dragged a little white body paint from the outer corner of my lower lash line towards the inner, pulling it down into a sharp triangular point in the inner corner of my eye. This is going to make our eyes look more animated and toy-like, and bigger all over. To ensure that our new false lash line stands out next to our incredibly pale skin, we're going to be packing those same pink and purple shadows from up top down below as a way of outlining them. I added a little flick of liner just for fun, and then lashes because I can. Now to chisel the face. I'm using this Morphe contour stick to sketch out my lines. For example, my nose. I wanted my face overall to appear more blocky, symmetrical, and therefore fake or toy-like. So I'm using thick lines on either side of my nose. I'm hitting under my nose's tip and even across my brow. I sketch it out first, and then I use this fluffy brush to kind of blend out those lines just a hair so that they can be a little bit more seamless. I do this also to my face. We're carving out some new, distinct cheeks. I need this to be extra sharp in order to offset the natural roundness of my big ol' face. To add a little bit of life, or, well, just to add color I suppose, since toys are not necessarily alive, we are going to be using this pink lipstick to add a little bit of blush to the upper portion of our new cheeks. Next we gave ourselves some brows that rivaled Eugene Levy's. If you know, you know. Not on purpose, honestly, they just kind of snowballed out of my control. But hey, strong and wrong. And with that same black paint, we're also going to be adding some new lower lashes here on our lower lash line. Now we're moving on to the best and my most favorite part, the mouth. Firstly, I used that same pink lipstick from earlier in order to overdraw my upper lip, making sure to drag the corners out a little bit and give them a slight curl upwards into a nice little faux smile. I painted my bottom lip white to serve as the top row of my faux teeth, and then I cleaned that up with a little bit of black paint before adding a bottom row of teeth as well as a lower lip with that same pink paint. I really wanted this to be different from the original Nutcracker that I did a few years ago, and so I chose to do the slightly parted mouth rather than the fully open or a fully closed Nutcracker mouth for this look. I added flicks of black paint in order to separate our teeth, and then I started to detail the face with a white paint. Again, I really wanted the overall look of our face to be fake and more toy-like, and so I used this white paint to kind of add a sheen, almost like a plasticky sheen to certain parts of the face. I'm adding this to the top of the brow, and then of course down my nose, the top of our faux cheeks, and even on my painted lips. Now I'm moving on to the clothes, which are some of my favorite things to paint, by the way. I started first by basing everything out in this really pretty blue that actually stained my skin for several days. I don't know, I think it just stained easily because I'm so pale. I avoided my shoulders here because I knew I wanted a different and lighter color for my uniform patches here. What is the official term for that? I also used a lighter blue paint here in the center of my uniform in order to add a little bit of depth to our faux fabric. I detailed the suit with a deep purple shadow and a fluff brush. I made sure to kind of add this curvature here around the neck. I really wanted to differentiate between the fall of fabric here on our chest and then what was rising up onto the neck in our little collar, and so that is what I did. And then because I felt like the uniform still needed a little bit of like wham bam thank you ma'am, I took a stipple sponge and I added a much lighter like whitish gray kind of paint with a hint of blue to it here in the very center, and I made sure that that stayed nice and splotchy as opposed to like blending it out seamlessly. Then using a white paint, I added little buttons and ran soft streaks down the edges of what would be our shirt's seams here on the uniform. I also sketched some lines across the top of my shoulders in order to represent that seam there, and I added flicks of white paint onto the uniform here and there just for like added texture and detail. I followed up a lot of the places that I put white with this beautiful silver paint from Mayron in order to make sure that it really like stood out and popped. I noticed sometimes the silver just doesn't quite like come across as rich and pigmented and beautiful on camera as it does in person unless you have that white base. And then I'm taking a white paint and I'm going to draw strings back and forth between our buttons, kind of like a closure. I use that same silver paint in order to create little tassels coming off of each of our shoulder pads. And then I added a white wig and the little hat that I made here on this headband in order to complete our overall look. I did last minute decide that I really did want a mustache, and so I picked up a little bit more black paint, and I'm not gonna lie, it took me 3 tries to kind of get it right, and I'm still not entirely satisfied with the way it looks. But for the sake of this tutorial, basically pretend like you're drawing 2 little tadpoles swimming on your upper lip. And there you have it. That is actually going to be it for today's tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. Drop a comment down below letting me know what your plans are for Christmas or anything else you guys would love to see moving forward. I love you so much. Have a very fun, safe, healthy day, and Merry Christmas. Bye.